Hello, my love, and welcome to Seen, the podcast that helps you to stop hiding, claim your worth, and build the most vibrant version of your life possible. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, my love, and welcome to Seen. And today I am recording from what's going to be 1111 Studios. Right now it's just an empty warehouse, but it is so excited being in here. We're in the middle of the design phase. The build is going to happen soon, and I'm so excited to tell you more about that on this journey. But today, what I want to talk to you all about is 5 ways that I am being more visible at the moment as a 36-year-old mom of 2 that, lives a beautiful lifestyle with my kids and really tries to have that balance between work and family life. And I want to just tell you the things that I'm practically doing right now that are really having the biggest difference for me in being able to show up, because right now I'm actually being probably more consistent than I have ever been. And there's a couple of things that I've done to be able to strategically grow. I've also been able to get over 300,000 views on my account and content over the past month alone in the space of 30 days. And that has been very strategic. And I want to share with you the things that really cut through the noise and move the needle without you having to slave away to your laptop all day long, because it's really not about that. It's about just doing the right things. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm doing more collaboration posts. So a lot of my posts that get the really big views is because I'm collaborating with a big user. And obviously you need to have a reason to be able to collaborate with someone else that has a good following online. This podcast is an incredible way for me to be able to do that. And it was one of the reasons that I wanted to start this podcast in the first place. I, of course, wanted to start a podcast, but I also wanted to be able to make more content for Instagram just more easily. It's a format that I love. I love just like chatting. I'm very long-winded, as you can probably tell. I like to just like ramble on about things. And I there's something about Instagram where it has to be like under a minute that I don't always love. So I like to go deeper. So that's one reason. But I also really wanted to be able to collaborate with bigger guests that I have on the show. So that was a big, reason for me starting the podcast. So for that reason, I think having a podcast is incredible. Like, they say it takes 7 hours of content to really build trust with your audience. There's been some research done around that, where if someone consume 7 hours of content, whether that's through a podcast, through YouTube videos, like whatever way they're consuming it, that's how they start building trust to then buy from you. And it's obviously very hard to build 7 hours of content through 1-minute videos on Instagram. So having something like some sort of long form content is always a great strategy. I have my newsletter, I have this podcast. They're my main 2 for longer form content. And so if it's something that you haven't really considered before, I would definitely recommend looking into doing a podcast. You can do it pretty simply just from like Riverside before going into the big production. And then when you have a guest that's really big, you could always do it, in a nicer studio so that you get really good quality footage. Because that's the thing as well. They're not going to just accept a collaboration post if it's like really poor quality. That's why any guest interviews I do, I always make sure to do them in person, and I will book a studio so I get really good quality footage. And then I make a trailer that, obviously is really interesting, that makes them look good, that has like both me and them on the cover, because they're obviously not going to, accept a post that just is like just my face on the cover. So they're the kind of things that you need to be really mindful of, is like you need to make them look good, and it needs to be something that they would want to accept a post about, because it's good content for them as well. But when you can get that right, then it is an amazing way to get extra exposure, to get new followers, to get more people knowing who you are. And, of course, also just building trust, because if this content creator that is on your podcast, or this expert, if they've built a lot of trust within their audience and now they see that they're on your show, well, then you essentially get to piggyback off of that trust. So it's a really great strategy in multiple different areas, like multiple reasons to do it. So that's the first thing. Next thing, number 2, is just creating an easy workflow. So for a while there, I was like doing these reels where it was like more educational, and I was wanting to make them these really cool edits, where there was like different video overlays, different text overlays, like flashing lights, like different things happening. And they looked really cool. But oh my God, I was just like, I cannot continue doing this. Like I just do not have time because I had to get an editor to do it, which is fine. You know, you can get editors pretty cheap these days. But the back and forth of just like getting it right, it was just like a whole process. And I was just like, I literally cannot do this. Like, I just don't have the time or the capacity. Like, it was actually frustrating me. And then also it's like, oh my God, that post is there and then it's gone again. Like, you know, and then what if it doesn't even perform super well? And it just like adds a barrier, right? Because you're creating content when it's like fresh, the idea is fresh, and then it's going to take you like a week of back and forth at the minimum to get it out. Like it's just adding a barrier. And I was like, just over it. And I decided I was going to scrap that strategy and just do what's easy for me and easy for my life. And what I find super easy is just face to camera, just whipping out my phone, recording a quick video. So easy. It's like over in 30 seconds. And then I just edit it super quickly with CapCut. So that's what I've been doing a lot of. And I've been batching it, which obviously everyone knows about batching, but I just like pick one day a week where I'm dressed up and I come to the office and I, you know, have my hair done, have my makeup done. I'm in something other than activewear, and I go for a walk on the beach that morning so I can kind of think of different ideas, like what's coming through. And I really try to just make the videos interesting. It's not even just always about content or branding. It's like what's happening in my life that's interesting. Like I recorded one today that was about how I just took $500,000 out of our property portfolio to invest into further business developments. And about how, you know, women in business need to be diversifying. So what has that got to do with branding? Not much, but it does show that I'm strategic. It shows that I know what I'm talking about. It shows that I'm, you know, have got my wits about me, that I am investing, that I'm doing interesting things. So it's still building my authority. It's still building my credibility. And it's still just creating like interesting content that people are going to engage with. Like, you know, I'm going to have a hook on it that's going to be, you know, a text overlay that's something like, saying that specific detail. Like I just pulled out $500,000 out of my property portfolio after 4 years. And any time that I create content where it's that specific, like that specific detail, talking about in the first person what I have done, they're the posts that have performed the best for me recently. And I've noticed that across Instagram as well. They're the ones that I'm attracted to, the ones that I see getting engagement are that really specific post that talks about something specific that you did. So that's going to work way better any day of the week than just me saying, here's 5 tips on how to brand yourself, you know? So that has been working really, really well. And I just love that workflow as well. It just feels really easy for me. And the key is really just finding somewhere that is amazing lighting. Like the warehouse that we have right now that we're turning into 1111 Studios, the lighting is insane. Like literally, that was probably the biggest factor to investing $2 million into this warehouse, was just like the lighting is incredible. And obviously you need that for our studios, but right now it's just an empty warehouse, but the lighting is still amazing. So just having incredible lighting, even if the background is just an empty warehouse right now, is like amazing for me, because as long as, you know, the lighting is good and you look half decent, then you're not going to be afraid to post it. So finding like your go-to place and your go-to flow, find somewhere that has incredible lighting that you feel good, choose a day where you're dressing up, and then just create your content in a way that works for you, that's easy. Now, the third thing that I'm doing is, and it kind of links to this face to camera content, but what it is that I'm just being a little bit more ballsy. Like I'm just not afraid to share my opinions anymore. And I'm like, welcome, like if someone wants to try cancel me, like let's go, you know, I just don't care anymore. And I don't know what has like changed in me that I'm just like so unbothered at the moment, but I think it's just working with so many women and seeing how held back they are by caring what other people think. And I'm like, who cares? And then I've also been studying Kabbalah, which has been really helpful for me to like change how I see things. And one of the things that I've always done is like people please and like, oh my God, what is someone going to think? But it kind of a spiritual edge for me and a growth for me is like, okay, well, what would I do if I wasn't scared of what people are going to think? Or what would I do if I wasn't scared of letting someone down? And so that's kind of my edge at the moment, is I'm actually looking for ways that I can let people down. And that probably sounds a little bit crazy, but it's like, if I'm so worried about letting people down, then I'm not in my authenticity and I'm probably swung too far on one side of the pendulum. Whereas if I actually bring it back and I'm like, how can I actually let someone down today? That's probably going to bring me back into my authenticity, because I look at Like, where have I been saying yes when I mean no? Where have I been posting something that I think will please people versus like not caring if someone gets offended by what I say, you know? So that's been a really interesting reframe for me. And it's working because, for example, I had a post recently that just went gangbusters. It went really viral. And it was actually talking about relationships. So here you go again. I'm talking about relationships. What has that got to do with branding? Nothing. But it's interesting. And, you know, it's people getting to know my personality, how I think, how I look at things, you know. And that's all really good to have. So what the post was about, it was all about how babysitters are cheaper than a divorce. And it went into about how I have a friend who, like, I'm really glad I met because she would actually go on 3 date nights a week with her husband, and really just showed me that, like, it's something you really have to do. Like, that a lot of Australians, they will kind of socialize separately. Like, they'll tag team looking after the kids and then socialize separately and then wonder why they're growing apart. Now, I'm not saying that we all have to go out and have 3 date nights a week. Like, that's a little bit extreme, but for them it worked great. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I was trying to make the point of is that, like, we need to actually invest in our relationships, and we need to actually take the time to build that foundation, because also our kids feel that and they see that, and we're modeling it to them, right? And anyway, I got a ton of backlash as well. Like, some people loved it, some people hated it. A lot of people just really took it out of context. And actually, you know what? That post, I think, also helped me with not caring what anyone thinks, because I just saw all the backlash that came back to it. And I was just like able to see that it's not about me. It's about people that have these preconceived notions about how a relationship should be, how a woman should act. You know, what's right or wrong when you're a mother? What's right or wrong when you have kids? And it's like, it's actually not about me at all. So that was really freeing in a way. But having posts that have been just a little bit more ballsy like that have really gone viral. Like, that post, I think, got like a couple of 100,000 views. And yeah, so that's been really good. And one thing I'll say about that edit is that, you know, it's probably like a 30 to 60 second edit. And then in the actual conversation that I was having, it was actually the last part of the conversation where I say, like, it's like talking about the whole situation. Then it's like, babysitters are cheaper than a divorce. But I was like, ooh, that's a good line. Like, that's a good one-liner. It's like really like polarizing. And so what I did was I just grabbed that line and I put that at the front of the clip and just had it at the back as well. So the clip then went, babysitters are cheaper than a divorce. I had a friend that went on 3 date nights a week, babysitters are cheaper than a divorce. And just having that, like, most polarizing line, the one that's really like would capture someone's attention, having that at the very start of the clip really helps as well. Now, the fourth thing that I am doing to be more consistent with content and, be more visible with my brand is just actually feeling good in my own skin. So I've been really stepping it up a notch when it comes to taking care of myself. So what that means for me is strength training, for one. So I've always kind of gone to the gym and just like done whatever gym class and like kind of half made an effort. Whereas now I'm actually really being more intentional with everything that I do. And so when I go to the gym, I'm like increasing how heavy my weights are every session. You know, I'm taking the right protein and creatine afterwards. I'm like making sure I'm eating enough protein in the day. I'm really just being very intentional, because obviously as a mom of 2 and having multiple businesses, like, I've so little time that I'm being really intentional at the moment that if I'm going to do anything, I want to do it at 100% and do it well, because otherwise it's a waste of my time, you know? And so that applies to the gym, because it's like, if I can go 3 times a week and get better results than when I was going 5 times a week, but not really making much of an effort, I mean, it's making a bit of an effort, but not really. Then why wouldn't I do that? So that's been a game changer. I go 3 times a week now, and I'm just really a lot more intentional about building that strength. And that has felt amazing to be able to see your strength improve. And I've been trying to get pull-ups for months now. I can now do pull-ups. Just seeing all of that happen just gives you such like a confidence boost as well. Like, if I can do that, then why can't I do anything else? If I can, get stronger and get fitter and get healthier, and I'm the one making these changes and I'm now seeing this in my physical reality, what else can I change? What else can I improve? I'm in control of my life, and I can look at the areas that I want to get better and I can do it. So that's been really, really good, especially for mindset. and for just feeling good in my own skin, right? Because if you feel good, you look good, then you want to show up more, right? So same with even like my hair. I've been really looking at like I hate when my hair looks really shitty. I never want to be on video. So I've been like, okay, well, how can I, create more of a hair routine that's going to allow me to show up more easily where I just like my hair. And so I did this big deep dive research rabbit hole with Claude where I actually took a photo of my hair and I took a photo of all the existing products I had because I'm not like a hair person at all. Like I don't like know all the things. I don't do all these crazy routines or anything like that. And so I put it all into Claude and I was like, I really don't like how my hair looks, because I also don't like to put a lot of heat in it. So I was like, when I leave it naturally dry, I was just like, I just don't like the way it naturally dries. And so Claude like gave me this whole thing of like what I can do that's really easy and fits into my life as a mom of two. Things like doing a weekly hair mask. It recommended the mask that was like perfect for my hair. There was like a mousse product that was going to give me a bit more hold, even though I was letting it air dry. A couple of different things like that, that has actually been amazing because it's made a difference for me and it's then allowing me to show up more and feel better about how I look and feel to then show up. Yes, it's a little bit vain, maybe it's a little bit superficial, but you know what? These are the things that are working for me. Now, the last thing is the custom dashboard that I built using AI. So if you follow me on social media, you will see that I've spent the last couple of weeks and months just like brainstorming and building this dashboard that I wanted to create for clients to help them essentially do a 360 brand audit, look at their Instagram profile, their bio, their content, and actually give a full audit of like where the gaps are. Are they showing enough credibility? Are they using messaging that only they could use? Are they creating the right content types? What are the fears that are like limiting them and blocking them? And so I built that using Claude Code. It was so much fun, but also so frustrating getting it right. And I went down a full AI rabbit hole for a couple of weeks. But it is so cool seeing it come together. I just launched it this week with a beta group of testers, and the results already are incredible. One of my clients, Lucy, she has only completed the first section. There's 6 sections. She just did one section, which was looking into like her blocks and fears and like how to overcome them. And then from that, we create a post off the back of that. Just from that section alone, she created a carousel that was her best performing carousel ever. So it's been incredible seeing this come to life because it's really my mission to help other women that are time poor, that have families, that want to have a great lifestyle, but they still want to be successful. They still want to do big things. And I just want to help them have the frameworks and tools to do that. And so I've been using this dashboard myself and just loving it. It's making my workflows and my content creation so much easier. So I will pop a link once it's ready. We're still in beta. Once it's ready, I'll pop a link into the show notes of future episodes, and you'll also be able to see it on my Instagram. But if you would like to sneak into the beta group and just be one of the last testers, then just send me a little note on Instagram at Kady_OOH, and I will share the link with you. So hope you enjoyed this very practical, very tactical episode, and I can't wait to see you back here next week.